The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello, everyone, and good evening. This is Wes Forsyth coming to you live via Scarefest Television. The original broadcast date is September 3rd, 2021. Roughly 6 weeks away from the Scarefest 2021. Okay, everybody, we were not going to do a show tonight because it is a holiday weekend, and my timeline even reminded me that I didn't have a show last year. And it's been a really, well, we'll come out and say it. It's been a shit week. And that we've had a close death. Scarefest has been hit by some other unfortunate circumstances. But tonight's show will probably be brief. But the main thing we're talking about, if you haven't heard, is Tony Todd canceled. And despite... Brandon Griffith is on the phone. Of course, he's the owner of Scarefest, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the timeline, about how this all went down, and the absolute utter shock that we got yesterday afternoon. And that's the best way I can lead into this. So let's just go ahead and start with the lead story, Brandon, and let's tell everybody what happened.
Well, first of all, sorry I'm not on video tonight. After the last 24 hours, I decided to clock out and go fishing. And so my blood pressure's come down now, and I feel like we can have a conversation.
Yeah, well, mine sucks now, so go ahead.
Well, I'll just walk everybody through the chain of events here. So, 2019, we booked Tony for 2020. Obviously, the apocalypse hit in 20, and we canceled and carried over to October of this year, and we re-signed Tony and had him announced, good to go, no problems. Talked to his management throughout the year. We're going to do some costume photo ops. We're working on that. Had arranged to buy the rides for Candyman to show at the theater across the street. We were cock locked and ready to rock. And driving down the road yesterday, I get a text saying that he was booked at another show. So I promptly spit out my chocolate milk and pulled over to the side of the road and started researching it. And after 24 hours, guys, this is about the best I've got. I don't know if people realize this or not, but over the years, I've learned it. Folks have multiple agents, and multiple agents take care of multiple bookings. And so some people have, one talent agent. Some people have another management person that's over like voice appearances. Some people have, 2 or 3 personal appearance agents. And that would appear to be the case in this instance. So I'm not really sure how that happened, in all honesty. I'm a little bit perplexed by it. To say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. To say that I understand is an overstatement. But essentially, I guess, miscommunication amongst his management and with Tony himself yielded him being booked at 2 shows. And ultimately, not sure if it's due to his location where he was at. He's decided to go with the other show. And that's really the only thing that I got out of it. So that being said, we promptly canceled him, and we had already been working on some other guest announcements, and we still have no other guest announcements. We announced Andrew Divoff and Tammy Lorne, and I'm not going to lie, Tony's a big hit. Ripping the Band-Aid off that, this morning, and after we finally figured out, where we were at and what was going on, it's a gut punch. I don't know what else to say.
And I do want to. I don't have her name pulled up, but I want to thank the member of the Scarefest group that actually brought it to my attention. I mean, literally, they posted, "Has Tony Todd canceled?" Where it didn't make it to post because we see the messages before they post, but the message was, "Has Tony Todd canceled? I see he's booked at another convention." And I went online and could not find it, and so I asked her, I said, "What convention is he booked at?" Because I have had people do weird things like post last year's or 2 years ago. They were Googling someone and had it pop up. But sure enough, she sent me the post, and I verified it, and the rest is history. I promptly sent out that text that made him spit out his chocolate milk.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I don't pretend to understand what conversations have taken place on the other side, and I'm not here to, besmirch anyone, but you would think that every convention website that I'm familiar with, even RosterCon, upcoming cons, like all that stuff, I mean, had his appearances booked out with us scheduled for a very large amount of time. And so every time we updated, to my understanding, he was announced at the other show yesterday morning for the first time, and we've kind of been there since 2019. So I honestly, I'm not going to pretend to understand that. We've been apologized to a number of times, and I understand that things happen, but I'm still a little bit perplexed about how this plays out. And yeah,
I've
never seen this one play out.
Yeah, this was actually, I've seen it not to this degree, but now we had somebody 3 years ago that double booked, but it wasn't a headliner like this. So, shit does happen. But now here I'm going to address, without calling anyone out, I'm going to address some of the frequently mentioned things on the post. First of all, every time we cancel someone, go ahead, Brandon.
Well, one thing I want to say too is that I don't want anyone to get the notion that this was some sort of miscommunication on our end. I mean, everyone that we've booked, we're very careful about dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And we don't announce someone unless we are 100% clear to do so. And so this was not a Brandon mess up. This was not a Adrian mess up. This wasn't, in my mind, this wasn't anything on our end. We did everything that we were supposed to do to the letter.
Now, to everyone who goes on whenever we cancel someone and says the following sentence, "Well, guess I can save my money. That was the only reason I was coming." I've got bad news for you. Everyone's laughing at you. And the reason I say that is, first of all, in our FAQ, as we point out many, many times, never attend any convention based on one celebrity. You have to look at the big picture. It's no big secret. Anybody who goes to cons will tell you, guest cancel all the time. So I want to kind of put that out there. The other thing is, what was my second point on that? I had another point on that. The other point is, no one believes you. When you say that, even if it's the truth, absolutely, no one believes you. and they think you're just trying to get a rise out of someone. So anyway, but Jake Godbold, you called it in the chat room. Yes, Jake, you never go to a convention. I will give you full credit. You're one of the first people that ever uttered those words to me, and I wanted to give you credit for that. So now, then also, one I did feel like commenting on. Someone said he's notorious for canceling or coming to conflict. I felt like saying, well, thanks for telling us. Now we know. But anyway.
So, yeah, hindsight's 2020, I guess. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah,
but you know, this is part of the reason why we are always booking and we don't stop booking. You know, you always run the risk of someone canceling. Now, in this case, it was what I would feel is I don't know. I just, the situation itself is just kind of untenable. But the, you know, filming, you know, people having, you know, especially like in days of COVID and things like that, you know, you see cancellations. It's a normal thing. You know, we've never had a show without at least one or two cancellations, not in the last 4 years. And that's why you're always booking. That's why I'm still talking to people. That's why we're still working on the lineup. So people have to remember that too. Like,
well, that, and let's face it, we're not used to having our lineup done 2 to 3 months in advance. We're just not even used to it. If everybody showed up, we're not used to having our lineup done that early. So I'm kind of watching the chat rooms here. If anybody's got anything they want to interject, other than please stop saying, oh, you should book so and so. So anyway, because we're at this late stage, if we haven't already reached out to the agents, there's not going to be a lot of movement. But the good thing is we have already reached out to agents before this ever happened. Oh, I know what I was going to say though. See, I was worried about Tony, but not because of any. Someone posted that he was in a bicycle wreck with a hit and run driver a week ago and had a concussion. Now, I do not know if that's true. I'm just saying it was on Facebook, and we all know how accurate that is. So I was worried that, you know, for that reason, and then, but yeah, it was still caught us, blindsided us there. But so everybody, that's the explanation. He has been double booked. The other convention has him. There's apparently nothing we can do about it. Oh, and I'll throw that out to you. Someone actually called me today about the situation and said, well, why, you've got a contract, why don't you sue? Yeah, we want to be the convention that is known for suing their guest. Yeah, that would
no, and I've seen other people do that, and you know, what good is it going to do if we force his hand and or try to push that maneuver? Like, I don't like doing that.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you know, Tony is he's a great actor. He's done phenomenal things, phenomenal franchises, and we want to keep that door open.
Absolutely. And I'm just saying, but if you slam that door, I don't imagine he'd be the only one you slammed it on. I dare say a lot of people would be triggered, kind of itchy about that. You know, oh my God, if I don't live up to everything, if I make a mistake, whatever. So anyway, that's why the contract is just to protect the details once we get them here, everybody. So just so you know, on that end of it, I wanted to bring that out. But yes, we've dropped a couple of good guests, and I'll bring their picture back up again. But Andrew Divoff. Now, Andrew, of course, is famous for Wishmaster. But actually, if you go through his IMDb, he's kind of he's a pretty heavy hitter. I remember him from a lot of his action movies that he's done. The one I do not remember, though, Brandon, apparently he was in like half a dozen episodes of Lost, and I absolutely do not remember a damn one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on this wagon real quick. I've never watched Lost, and I don't know if I ever will. I'm not bad-mouthing Lost. I've just never watched any of it. But I heard he's really good in it. Wishmaster, Toy Soldiers, all those things are things that I recognize him from. And he's a great actor. And, I mean, he's totally badass. and he's great to meet with and interact with. He's really good with fans. And I cannot honestly tell you if he's been to Scarefest in the last 10 years. I know for 4 he has not, but this may be his first actual appearance here. And then Tammy Lauren, she doesn't do very many shows.
No, that's what I've heard. Some people had already met Andrew, but they said he was a swell guy, but they were excited meeting her because, A, they hadn't met her, and she can sign all the shit that he's already signed. So, you got that going for you.
Yeah, and I would just, everybody show him some love. We've got a lot of great guests. Tony's a punch in the gut, but, we've got a lot more coming, and we've got a lot on the docket already. So, don't forget, like Ted Ramey and Kane were all in Wishmaster. So that's another little reunion we've got going on now.
Yep.
So I'm super excited about that.
So so we got to get updated graphics now for that to get that reunion up and posted. And and everybody, incidentally, on Tammy Lauren, if you don't remember, she played the teenage girl in every sitcom in the 80s, basically in the 80s. That was if they needed a high bone.
Tammy has a lot of she's got a lot of credentials.
Yeah, but if you needed a high cheekbone teenager, she was the go-to gal for a long, long time. So that's what we've got going on tonight, everybody. This was the show that was never supposed to be. So just tickets are on sale, all that good stuff that we usually go over. I'm going to close the show with Bonehead Weekly's movie reviews. Since he sent it to me, I'm going to use it. I will go through my little announcement thing here. So don't forget, everybody, Casualty Friday tickets are on sale. Friday night, 11 p.m., October 22nd. Tiffany, Felissa, and Kane will be bringing their podcast to you live in person. And don't forget, we've also got a little thing called Throw Axes with Killers. We've got about half a dozen movie killers, movie stars, movie people who play bad people in movies. And they're going to be throwing axes, and you'll be locked in a building with them for a little over an hour, it looks like. Scream Queen Bowling. We've got also half a dozen Scream Queens. Well, I'm stretching a little bit on Aaron Ryder and J.L. DePardo, but they're famous and they're hot and they're really interesting people. So anyway, and they jumped at the chance to go bowling, and that's the important part. So anyway, we've got Scream Queen Bowling tickets on sale, and I also want to throw out there that Tessa Del Zoppo will be doing a psychic medium gallery reading. We've got tickets on sale for that. So all this is available at thescarefest.com, thescarefest.com. Just click the ticket link and you'll find everything that we've got up for sale now. We're working furiously on getting our photo ops ready. And we're going to try to get you that little list of projected pricing on autographs. That is just, it's a tedious process, and then you get sidelined and have to scramble on something like happened today. That's always fun. The film festival, this is the last month to enter the film festival. Entries, we've got over 100 entries. Brandon, we have over 100 entries this year in the film festival. So
awesome.
Yeah,
we'll break in the Lex Live.
And now we got to figure out how to... The winners, I've actually got my... Unless some really good ones come in this month, I've got my top 10 picked. But everybody, that's the thing. That's really, as far as feature films, we're only going to be able to bring you 10 to 12 feature films. So they are going to be the cream of the crop. So you can count on a really great film festival. But that's coming up. And then next weekend... Central Kentucky Mystical Market will be going on Saturday and Sunday. Central Kentucky Mystical Market. Go to centralkymysticalmarket.com and find out more about it. Although I haven't updated the website, so anyway, other than the dates, that's about all you're going to find there. So, unless there's some pending business in the chat room that I haven't seen, that's going to be our show for tonight. We just wanted to go ahead and get that information out there to you as best as we could, and to explain what happened and how surprised we were. This was... It's funny. Now, that's one thing, Brandon. Somebody this morning on the post said, isn't this like the third person that's canceled due to a prior a scheduling conflict? And congratulations, you've discovered the #1 reason that celebrities cancel conventions. Although this one was kind of sideways, but it's still, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, these conversations are taking place like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months out. And, you know, you never know what someone's schedule is going to look like when you get down to the wire. But now, I think we've done a phenomenal job over the years and this year keeping that to a minimum.
What was the other issue you mentioned? I don't remember, Jake. I don't even remember what I was talking about when I brought that up. Anyway, I think it was about
probably with all the stuff that has happened this week.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I should do that before I jump out of here. Okay, everybody. If you haven't caught it on Facebook, which if you live in the United States of America and you're even remotely involved with anybody that goes ghost hunting or otherwise, our good friend, former co-host, my personal great friend, and he's been a colleague of mine for almost since I started with, I'd never say he jumped on with me within a year or two after I started podcasting, but Mr. Christopher Sutton passed away this week. Cody Chris Sutton is no longer with us in body. In spirit, he'll be here forever. But I just wanted to send my condolences and prayers out to his family, and he touched a lot of lives. When he left Scarefest Radio because he had too many irons in the fire and was pursuing his own stuff, and he was a power player, if you will, in the paranormal world. But he never lost his rooting. He was a great guy. He'd send me a text every now and then. We kind of lost touch over the last year because things have gotten so COVID-y, if you will. But it was a deep shock. It was a quick thing, but I did speak to his wife, and if you haven't heard, he did, when he passed away, it was very peaceful, and so I just wanted to put that out there. And also, our prayers are also with Mary Mudd, one of our Scarefest volunteers. She lost her son, Jim Paget, recently. So that was kind of snowballing into this week. And that's another reason that I was totally unprepared to do any type of show tonight. Everything was just kind of building up. But thank you, Tony Todd, for pulling me out of temporary retirement. And so we will go with it from there. So, Brandon, thanks for interrupting your fishing trip to come on and talk to us for a few moments.
Well, I've got a fishing pole in one hand and a computer on the other, so yeah.
Well, then the banner I made for tonight's episode would have been terribly appropriate, because actually it's a picture of you holding a cell phone, and ignoring everyone around you, and that's okay. That's that was appropriate. It just, the editing software cut off the cell phone, and I was in a hurry, so I kind of left it like that. So everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight.
How many pictures you find of me?
Yeah, I didn't have time today. I got some really good ones on my cell phone, but I didn't go that way. I should just use your profile picture that you've got up right now. That would have been embarrassing enough. But anyway. Everybody, thanks for watching tonight. Thanks for sticking with us. We will keep you posted. We will keep you informed. There may not be a Scarefest TV. That's another reason I said, well, we ought to do it tonight, because we don't know if we can have one next week, because Wesley's fat ass might be in Lexington, Kentucky for Comic-Con. That's coming up next weekend also. So it's going to be a busy weekend. And if we can get some more news to everybody, we will. And we're going to close the show now with a little ditty from Bonehead Weekly. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Welcome, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Finally got to see A Quiet Place 2. Now, imagine, if you will, someone who was like, I don't know, the Jim from The Office can direct a good movie. I was wrong. I liked A Quiet Place. Isn't necessarily the best movie I've ever saw, but he's a really effective director, John Krasinski, Jim from The Office, when it comes to building tension. He does a great job with it. Is he Hitchcock? Not necessarily, but he's pretty damn good considering he's Jim from The Office. Quiet Place Part 2. I liked Quiet Place because they had the balls to kill off a kid in the first 10 minutes. Ooh, spoiler alert. This one has some kills in it too. And you wonder, well, how do they open back up? How it kind of picks up right after the first one, only with a 20-minute, I don't know if I really call it a flashback as much as it is. It just gives you what happened the day of whatever these things from space came down and started attacking people. It gives you kind of the whole day of what happened there, how everybody got alive. So you get to see Jim from The Office again once more, and he's in the first 20-25 minutes. And then Act 2 and 3 are basically pick up right where the other movie left off. Now, A Quiet Place Part 2. If you enjoyed A Quiet Place, you're going to love Another Quiet Place. I wish they just called it Another Quiet Place. You're going to like it. I liked it. It's really well made. Emily Blunt is an amazing actress. Those kids are really good. And you follow the Abbott family as they, spoiler alert, Jim from The Office got killed in the first one, but found a way to bring his ass back for 20 minutes. And he wrote and directed it. So you can't blame that on anyone but Jim. Cut to, picks up right where we left off. They're trying to flee. They hear a radio signal. They're trying to get to it. They meet somebody in their old life. He's basically in a factory underground hiding. He shows them how to do it, but he doesn't want them to stay because most of his family's dead too. And they pick up a radio signal and they want to make their way there. So they try to do that. He finds an island. And basically, to make a long story short, there's 3 different stories going on at the same time. I enjoyed the movie. It's pretty good. I like the fact that they actually explain a little bit of when the creatures, but I don't think they explain enough. I'm kind of curious. The problem with this one is that it doesn't open the world up as much as I hoped it would. It's basically just a continuation of events from last one. And I want them to open up the world. I'd like to know more about the creature. I just would like to know more. If they're going to make sequels, I'd like to know more. So if you have Paramount Plus and you like A Quiet Place, man, check it out. You probably have already seen it. It's pretty good. Is it great? No. Is it as good as the first one? Not quite, but it's a worthy sequel. And like I said, it's just a continuation. So this has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Stay classy, Scarefest. I really need some sort of ending phrase. Keep drinking.